want to share with you a little bit about working with Caran D'Ache crayons. Now these are water-soluble crayons. They look kind of waxy, but they basically melt in water. So I have crayons here. I have a little dish of water. I like a low one so that I'm able to dip the crayons right in. I have Strathmore Art Journal here. It's a mixed media paper. I think it's a 300 or 500 series paper. Let's just take a peek. The 500 series mixed media paper, which I enjoy. It lays flat and it's thick enough to take quite a lot of work. And I have one of these Catalyst wedges. This one's made by Princeton, and I'm going to use it with the crayons. You can see that I've used it with gesso and acrylic paints as well. I probably should clean it off a little better, but it'll still work like this. It's just a nice soft rubber. You could use a credit card, but it doesn't bend quite the same way as this. Okay, so let's get started. I'm just gonna do some intuitive marks. So one of my favorite things is to take little pieces that have already been peeled, and this gets a bit messy, but I dip them in the water and I just roll them and start mark making. Okay, now that I have a few things going on in here, I'm going to show you how I use the wedge to drag through. So it has to be wet when you're working, and you can use this edge of the wedge or this long edge. Let's see what happens. Okay, so it starts to create these puddles that you can push around. You're still going to see some marks underneath, which is fine, but you get these nice watery layers that you can even tip and drip and start to play around with. This is why you need a bit of a thicker paper for working like this, because you're going to agitate the surface and a thin paper will start to peel on you. Another way to work with the crayons is simply to dip them and draw right in. Or you can use them like they're a watercolor base and work with a brush and use the color that way. They're a favorite of mine because they're so soft, and after you've created these really watery, nice layers and you let it dry, then you can work on top using pens or paint pens. And this first layer is not so thick, so you are able to draw on top without it gumming up your drawing tools too much. So this is just an expressive page that I can then journal on top of.